intestines. That's in his abdominal cavity. The bullet kept traveling and injured and stopped after it fractured the front surface of the iliac bone, which is important to, it's a part of the pelvis that gives the body the ability to hold up the abdominal organs and the organs that are in the chest. So the projectile was found there, and I was able to remove it and submit it as evidence to law enforcement.
Okay. And showing you State's Exhibit 449. Is that what you were talking about, Dr.?
Yes, this is what I was able to remove from Mr. Hoyer's pelvis, which resulted in injuries that resulted in 150 milliliters of blood that was found in the abdominal cavity based on this injury. So this, along with the other injury involving the neck and the torso, involving the chest specifically, resulted in almost 1.5 liters amount of blood that was lost internally.
And Dr. Tops, what was the cause of death of Luke Hoyer?
The cause of death is gunshot wounds of neck and torso.
Okay. Would Mr. Hoyer have been conscious after gunshot wound B?
Yes, he would have been conscious. And this is that type of injury, he could have been saved if he was able to get medical assistance immediately.
But not A?
A is fatal.
Okay, Dr. Tops. Did you have occasion to perform another autopsy on Aaron Feist?
Aaron Feist, yes, I performed an autopsy on him on the same day.
Okay. And now I'd like to show you State's Exhibit 19F, 19G, 19E, 19D, 19C, 19B, and State's Exhibit 104. So I'm going to show you State's Exhibit 104 that has already been introduced in evidence. And do you recognize that individual?
Yes, sir, I do.
And who is that?
This is Mr. Aaron Lewis Feist.
Okay. And showing you these exhibits, Dr. Tops, that I just read into the record. If you take a look at those and see if you can identify them, sir.
Yes, I recognize these.
Okay. And where are they, Dr. Tops?
These are photographs of Mr. Feist that I directed my autopsy assistants to photograph to identify the gunshot wound entry sites of 2 gunshot wounds involving that of the torso.
Okay. And with these exhibits, these photographs aid you in explaining to the court and to the jury the nature of Aaron Feist's wound?
Yes, sir.
And would these exhibits also help you in explaining to the court and to the jury the nature and cause of death of Aaron Feist?
Yes.
Your Honor, this time I'd like to offer exhibits that I've read into the record, please, Your Honor.
Defense, is there any objection?
Yes, ma'am, we have a brief sidebar.
Sure. recess. Please leave your notepads behind. Please do not discuss the case among one another. Do not begin deliberating, and we'll be back with you shortly. Ms. Curtis, do you need something? No. We're in recess. We're going to take a 10-minute recess.
Oh, okay. I don't know why you're doing something. I wasn't listening to you.
No, you just looked at me like you were waiting for something.
I was waiting to figure out what we were doing. It's fine. I wasn't on the net.
There was a little smudge on the picture, and jurors are present. Everyone may be seated. States 19B will be received as 450, 19C as in Charlie, 451, 19E, 452, 19F, 453, and 19G, 454.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
And Dr. Tops, the height, weight, and age of Mr. Feiss?
The height of Mr. Feiss is, at the time of the autopsy, was 68 inches. The weight was 376 pounds, and age 37.
Okay. Thank you, sir. I'm going to show you now State's Exhibit 450. It's been introduced in evidence. And can you describe that for us, sir?
We can't see anything. Can you see it?
No, ma'am. Your Honor, sorry.
No, the man is fine.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yes, so in this photo, in the center of the photo, you see there is a gunshot wound that's located just in the region of the left armpit of Mr. Feiss. There's a placard labeled A as an alpha, which was arbitrarily assigned to the number or the letter of the injury to Mr. Feiss, along with a scale that's at the bottom of the photo labeled A18-0522. That is linked forever to Mr. Feiss, with all the photos that you'll be seeing of him today. As you can see, there is a hole, and that's the gunshot wound entry site that injured the left chest, left armpit area.
And what damage, Dr. Tops, did that gunshot wound A cause?
What protects the lungs are the ribs, and one of the ribs was fractured by the bullet. It was specifically the left lateral fifth rib that was obliterated. There are two lobes of the left lung. The left upper and the left lower lobes were also destroyed, which resulted in the amount of 600 milliliters, or more than a half of a liter of blood in the left chest cavity. The bullet continued traveling and injured the eighth rib that's of the back. So two ribs were fractured. This was the second one. And the bullet then disintegrated and became fractured. The bullet was in the process of exiting the body, but because of the injuries that it inflicted on the ribs, it disintegrated and stopped in the soft tissue in the mid region of the back at midline, where the fragments of the projectile was collected by me and submitted to law enforcement as evidence.
Okay. Was that gunshot wound A, fatal in and of itself?
Yes.
Okay. And showing you State's Exhibit 451, is that a perspective shot of the gunshot wound to his armpit?
Yes, this is where Mr. Feiss's arm is lifted above his head, and you can see a better perspective of the injury of that gunshot wound entry site. And the damage that it inflicted was, I mentioned to you earlier, the ribs and also the upper and lower lobes of the left lung that resulted in significant bleeding inside of his left chest cavity, that, as well as the other victim, as I mentioned before, internal bleeding resulted in the compression of the left lung, making it very difficult for him to breathe and maintain his ability to receive oxygen for not just his lungs, but his brain and the rest of his body.
Okay. And Dr. Tops, now State's Exhibit 452.
This is a photo where you can see, this is showing the chest, the left side of the chest of Mr. Feiss. At the very top, around 1 o'clock in this photo, you see the gunshot wound that I previously described involving the left armpit. But as you look further down at the 6 o'clock position of this photo, where you see the scale of A18-0522 that's associated with Mr. Feiss, That's the second gunshot wound of the torso. And that is the entry site on the left side, the far left side of his lower chest.
And what damage that's gunshot wound B, correct?
Yes, B as in Bravo.
Okay, and what damage did gunshot wound B cause?
So that injured the rib cage again, fractured the 8th rib on the left anterior lateral side of the rib cage. As the bullet obliterated that bone, it continued traveling into the abdominal cavity, where it injured the largest organ in the abdominal cavity called the liver, the left lobe of the liver. Just obliterated that. Continued traveling, damaging the stomach, and obliterated a portion of the pancreas, which is important for digesting food particles in the intestines. And then it continued traveling and had a devastating effect on the right kidney, which is highly vascularized, where there was significant amount of bleeding, massive bleeding from that. And those injuries resulted in 700 milliliters of blood. And based on the injuries of the organs, as I mentioned to you earlier, the bullet no longer had any power to continue traveling, and it stopped right in the soft tissue, just on the back portion of the right kidney. So significant amount of bleeding, more of that than what was in the chest. That was also noted in his internal bleeding.
And would gunshot wound B, Dr. Tops, be fatal in and of itself?
Yes, based on the organs that were injured, it's fatal.
Okay, and so the cause of death of Aaron Feist was what?
Gunshot wounds of torso.
Okay, and showing you now State's Exhibit marked 453.
This is the photo of the projectile that was retrieved from the back side of the right kidney that I was able to collect for law enforcement as evidence.
Okay, and State's Exhibit 454.
This photo showing that there are 3 fragments of the projectile. As I mentioned to you before, this projectile disintegrated after it injured 2 ribs and damaged his left lung. And this was found in the mid portion of the back at midline that I was able to collect. That was in the soft tissue under the skin of Mr. Feist.
Okay. Okay. Dr. Tops, there come a time on Thursday, February the 15th, 2018, that you performed a third autopsy.
Yes, a third
I'm
autopsy.
showing you now State's Exhibit 113. Do you recognize that person?
Yes, I recognize this person. This is Joaquin Oliver. I may mispronunciate the last name, Padoui or Padaway.
Padoy? Okay.
Patadoy?
Yeah, we call him Joaquin Oliver, so that's fine. That's
Thank
who
you.
that is? Okay.
Yes.
Now I want to show you Dr. Tops 19J, 19T, 19U, 19S, 19M, 19L, 19K, 19R, 19Q, 19N, 19P, and 19O. Dr. Tops, if you would take a look at these exhibits, please, and let me know if you recognize them.
Yes, I recognize these photos.
Okay. And what are they?
These are photos of Joaquin Oliver. He has sustained multiple gunshot wounds throughout the body.
Okay. And would these photographs assist you and aid you in explaining to the court and to the jury the nature of Joaquin Oliver's injuries?
Yes, sir.
And would these exhibits aid you and assist you in explaining to the court and the jury the manner of the death of Joaquin Oliver?
Yes, sir.
Your Honor, at this time, these exhibits are the ones I'd like to introduce. 19P, 19O, 19N, 19Q, 19R, 19K, 19L, 19M, 19S, 19U, and 19T.
Defense, is there any objection?
Yes, ma'am, we object pursuant to DMIL 12, and we request to be able to incorporate all arguments and authorities therein, and we just place particular emphasis on 19K as in kilo, L as in Lima, and M as in Mike.
All right, over the defense objection. 19K will be received as 455. 19L will be received as 456. 19M, 457. 19N, 458. 19O, 459. 19P, 460. 19Q, 461. 19R, 462. 19S, 463. 19T, 464, and 19U, 465.
Dr. Tops, while the clerk is marking those exhibits, could you give us the height, weight, and age of Joaquin Oliver?
The height was 71 inches. The weight was 134 pounds. The age, 17 years old.
Okay, thank you, sir. Autopsy, if it's okay with you, I'd like to start with gunshot wound D first, if that's okay. And that's State's Exhibit Mark 461. Is that coming up on the screen, your screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
So this is a photo of Mr. Oliver's right palm, and in the center of the photo is the gunshot wound entry site in the center of his right palm, which I'm illustrating with my palm right here in the center.
Okay. And is that described as a defensive wound?
That's a possibility. I'm using my right hand as an example, where if I'm trying to protect myself from being injured, it's just a reflex or primitive reaction to ward off any kind of injury. In this case of being injured with a firearm.
Okay. And showing you State's Exhibit 462.
So this is the exit side of Mr. Oliver's right hand, and it's in between. I'm using my right hand as an example. It's so it entered in the center portion of the palm of the right hand, exited out on the back side between the web of the index finger and the thumb. But before the exit wound was created, it damaged the bone called the metacarpal bone of the index finger, and it caused it to shatter. So when the bullet entered into the palm, fractured that bone of the metacarpal bone, it led to a gaping exit wound where not only did the bullet leave out of the hand, but also fragments of bone with it.
Okay. And gunshot wound C5, State's Exhibit 458.
This is a photograph of Mr. Oliver's left arm. There are two holes. One that is towards the 4 o'clock position of the photo. There's a round circular defect. That's the gunshot wound entry site. And then there is a larger defect, a larger circle that is going upward towards the shoulder. That is actually the exit. And so the smaller defect is the entry wound at the 4 o'clock position. It entered and only damaged the soft tissue, which is the muscle and the subcutaneous tissue of Mr. Oliver's left arm, and exited out in the front towards the upper portion of the arm near the shoulder and exited. And no bone was injured or no major blood vessels were damaged.
Okay. And showing you State's Exhibit Mark 459.
This is showing a photo of the gunshot wound entry site of Mr. Oliver's left leg. So what we're looking at is the side of the front portion of the leg where the great toe is located. So it's like the inner portion of the front of his leg.
Okay. And State's Exhibit Mark 460.
This is showing the large gaping exit wound of what I showed you earlier. That was the entry site. This is going further down towards the ankles to the feet. So it's going front to back and downward. And this large gaping exit wound, what you see there is the subcutaneous tissue, and deeper in that defect is the muscle of the leg. The bullet traveled between the two major bones that help us to stand upright, which is the tibia and fibula. It only injured the soft tissue and any nerves, blood vessels that may be present in between those two major bones. But the bones themselves were not injured.
Okay. Now I'll show you State's Exhibit 455.
Exhibit 4, yes. So this is the side view of Mr. Oliver's head. And what you see above his left ear in the temple region of the head is a irregular gunshot wound. It's relatively large compared to the entry gunshot wounds that I explained to you before. Surrounding that...
Doctor, you can use, tell us with any color you want to illustrate, and if you think that would help.
Yes, so at the 1 o'clock position in the upper portion of the photo, I don't know if I can manipulate
Yeah,
it on
you
my
can
screen.
just use any color, and Ian will show you how to do it.
Silicon pencil.
Okay.
And then silicon color.
So right here, I'm using the screen to show you that is the entry gunshot wound site. It's irregular, meaning that it's larger than what a typical gunshot wound is able to cause in terms of damage. What's also important is that you have to look at these other defects that are surrounding a good portion of this gunshot wound. You see that there are these satellite areas of round punctate lacerations that are superficial. And based on my expertise as a medical examiner, I've been doing this for 15 years, these are what we call, these defects, other than the gunshot wound site, pseudostippling. What that means is that the bullet likely injured an object before the bullet re-entered or entered the head of Mr. Oliver. And so when I described to you earlier the fragments involving Mr. Joaquin Oliver's hand, the bullet entered the palm, fractured the metacarpal bone. Not only did the bullet exit out of that hand, but also fragments of the bone of Mr. Oliver's right hand. It traveled in a direction. So if I can use my body as an example, here's my right hand, gunshot wound, entered here, exited here, fractured the metacarpal bone. The bullet continued traveling, hit me in the head in the left temple region, and the fragments of bone that was traveling with the bullet caused what we call pseudostippling, with the laceration of the scalp. So he was like in this orientation, trying to protect himself from being harmed.
Okay, I want to show you now State's Exhibit marked 457.
This is showing you the back of Mr. Oliver's head behind his right ear. And what you see, I can use this marker to show the jury. What we have here in this photo at 6 o'clock is, that's a portion of the exit wound of the bullet entering the left temple and exited behind the right ear, near the upper portion of the neck. You see other defects on this photo. You see this small little laceration here that's near the center of this photo, that's above his right ear. And also there's another defect, which is a laceration that's on the side in the further back of the head where the exit wound is located. Those fractures are not caused specifically by the bullet exiting. It's actually the shattering of the skull. So when the bullet entered his left temple, the bullet had so much force that it basically caused an explosion inside of the skull, and it caused it to fragment it so much and such a great effect that it was like a cherry bomb that was inside of one's head, and it just caused the skull to explode and the brain with it. The projectile fragmented in many fragments, which is called a lead storm if one looks at it under X-ray. And with the photos that you see here, unfortunately, Mr. Oliver's head was only kept together by his scalp and forehead. Everything under the skin was obliterated, and the brain itself was morcellated and was unrecognizable once I removed it.
Okay. I'm showing you State's Exhibit 456.
This is showing the, as you can see, the malformation of the head. It's not normal. There is, on this photo, behind the right ear at 3 o'clock of this photo, you can see that this is the exit wound here. And as you can see at 9 o'clock in this photo, there's a long linear laceration in which the skull was in the process of escaping, but it didn't because the scalp was able to keep the contents of the head of the skull to leave the scalp of Mr. Oliver's head. So again, it's what we called in the field that I work in eggshell fractures, where it was just devastating obliteration and destruction of Mr. Oliver's skull and brain.
Okay. Showing you now Dr. Top's 465. State's Exhibit 465.
This is showing the X-ray of Mr. Oliver, and as you can see at 12 o'clock, the head, that it is fractured significantly. Again, what is holding the head together is the skin of his forehead and his scalp. And you can see that there are fragments of projectile that, when it entered into the inner table of the skull, that it disintegrated and led to what is called a lead storm.
Okay. And 464.
This is showing, it's going to be difficult to see it, but I'm going to explain it to you. So this is a full body image of Mr. Oliver, and what you can see here at 3 o'clock of this full body X-ray, right around here, that is showing the left humerus, the bone of the arm. The humerus is fine, but what you see is that when you're able to look at an X-ray image, black is what is considered, in this square that I just put on the screen, is going to be black. Anything that is dense, like bone or metal, like what we see here at 8 o'clock, Mr. Oliver had a phone. You can see the intricate engineering of that phone that he has. Part of it's metal. If it's metal, that means it's radio dense. So when you look at the body of Mr. Oliver, you're going to have shades of gray, black, white. White is very dense bone or metal or enamel involving his teeth. White, that's what it is, radio dense. Black, it's air. So what you see here in the circle at 3 o'clock, you see the left arm, and there are pockets of air, which I'm covering the pockets of air with the arrow and with that vertical line that is showing you that the projectile entered his left arm and introduced air into his left arm, missing that of the humerus. But this in of itself wouldn't cause death, but it also bled, which contributed to the overall blood loss of Mr. Oliver.
Okay, and showing you State's Exhibit 463.
This is showing fragments that I was able to collect from Mr. Oliver's brain. There were so many minute fragments, I wasn't able to get all of them. These were the representative fragments that I was able to retrieve as evidence. And this was collected from the, within the skull that was found throughout the brain tissue of the destructive nature of this bullet have an effect on the brain.
And the cause of death, Dr. Tops, of Joaquin Oliver?
Multiple gunshot wounds.
Okay, thank you. Your Honor, at this time, I have no further questions of Dr. Tops.
Thanks. Do you have any questions? Thank you, sir. You're excused.
Thank you.
Your Honor, the next witness is going to be kind of lengthy. Do you want to take a lunch break now, or it's up to you?
Like an hour, you think?
Yeah.
I think since we got a late start, we'll just go through with the next witness to see most of yours are shaking their head yes. I would
Okay.
prefer to go to the next witness.
Okay. Then we'll do that.
Thank you.
Oh, I'm sorry. Ron Fairclough.
Good morning. Please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you, sir. You can go ahead and be seated. And when you're seated, please state your full name and spell your last name for the record.
Ronald Fairclough. Last name is Faircloth.
And what is your occupation, sir?
I'm a detective with the Broward County Sheriff's Office.
Okay. And how long have you been in law enforcement?
About 17 years,
And how long have you been with the Sheriff's Office?
the entire time.
Okay. And do you have any special responsibilities at this time?
Yes, I've been doing digital forensics for approximately 9 years.
Okay. Could you please explain what that is to the jury?
Yes, so primarily my role is to take electronic devices, mostly cell phones, and I extract the data off of those phones, take the extracted data and present it into a readable format for the investigators that are investigating the case to review.
Okay. And what is your training in order to enable you to do that?
So I've completed over 1,000 hours in training for computer forensics, both Windows, Mac, cell phone forensics. I've been teaching digital forensics for about 4.5 years for a company called Cellbrite. They manufacture a tool and software that we utilize in digital forensics. As an instructor, I've taught over 2,000 hours to hundreds of other forensic examiners across the globe.
And do you keep up with specialized training?
Yes.
What, like, for instance?
I've been through, so the first training class that I attended was a 2-week course in Orlando put on by IASIS, the International Association of Computer Investigative Specialists. It was a 2-week program based on basic computer forensic training, and that was followed up by a 6-month certification process. During the 6-month certification process, I was required to examine numerous different hard drives and artifacts and complete questions and an examination to finally get the certification.
Okay. And have you testified as an expert in cell phone forensics?
Yes, I have. I've testified as an expert 5 times, 3 of which in state court and twice in federal court.
Okay. So let me show you now State's Exhibit 429 that has been introduced in evidence, Detective Fairclough, that has been identified as a phone found in the east stairwell of the 1200 building on February the 14th, 2018. I ask you if you can identify that.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And what is that?
This is a ZTE Z818L cell phone that I examined on February 15th.
Okay. And who did you obtain that cell phone from?
I obtained it from Detective Valerian Perez.
Okay. And so when you received that cell phone, what did you do?
When I received the cell phone, I first initially did a physical examination of the phone. I checked it to determine if there was any, since it's an Android-based phone, if there were any SIM cards or micro SD cards in it. There was a SIM card in the phone. A SIM card is a small plastic chip that has copper contacts on one side of it that's used to allow the phone carrier, AT&T or T-Mobile like that, to authenticate the phone user so that they can make and receive calls, use data, make text messages. So after examining it, I found the SIM card. I pulled the SIM card out of the device, and then I began to do the examination on both, the SIM card and the cell phone.
Okay. And explain the process to us.
So the process involves 2 separate examinations. We examined each item individually. So I used what we refer to as a UFED Touch 2. It's a hardware device created by Cellbrite, the company I had mentioned earlier. UFED stands for Universal Forensic Extraction Device, and it's basically a small tablet-based system that can process both the SIM card and the cell phone. So I initially started with the cell phone, with the SIM card. I placed the SIM card into the proper location on the UFED Touch 2, at which time it extracted the data off of the SIM card. When I say extraction, I'm referring to just basically the copying of data. There's a number of different types of extractions that we can do. On SIM cards, the extraction type that we conduct is referred to as a logical extraction. It basically just reads live data off of that SIM card. So it gets typically authentication information that the carrier needs to authenticate the user on their network. So once I completed that logical extraction, I then powered on the cell phone to determine if it was in a locked state. It was in a locked state with a swipe code. So I utilized a method that is referred to as Edl Mode, which stands for Emergency Download Mode. It is a built-in process for Qualcomm processors. If you're not familiar with what a processor is, you've probably heard of Intel. Intel is a processor for computers. Qualcomm is basically a processor for cell phones. A processor is more or less the brains of the electronic device. It's what does all the processing. It does all the computations. So the Qualcomm processors have a built-in function in case of failure on the device, where you can place them into this emergency download mode that allows you to recover the phone. So I placed the phone into emergency download mode, which allowed me to obtain a physical extraction of the phone. As I mentioned a few minutes ago, we have a few different types of extraction methods and types. So the SIM card, I conducted a logical extraction. On the phone, I conducted a physical extraction. A physical extraction is basically an exact copy of what's in the memory chip on the phone. So it starts at the beginning of that memory chip, and it goes all the way down to the end of that memory chip, and it gets everything in between.
Okay, and we able to get the telephone number?
Yes, we
And
have
that
the cell
was?
phone. The cell phone number on the device was 954-821-1007.
Okay, and let me show you now State's Exhibit marked 24T for identification. Detective Fairclough, can you identify that?
Yes, sir.
What is that?
This is exhibits from the cell phone report that I created.
Okay, and what does it show?
It shows 2 Gmail accounts that were logged in on the phone. There was a Gmail account for Linda Cruz 1949 at gmail.com, and there was a second email address of Nikolas Jacob Cruz at gmail.com as well.
Okay. And that was you got that as the basis of the physical extraction?
Yes.
Okay. And showing you now State's Exhibit marked 24U.
Thank you.
What is that?
This is the Stoneman Douglas bell schedule.
All right, and how did you obtain that?
There was a PDF version of this bell schedule on the cell phone that I found. It had been downloaded on February 2nd, so approximately 12 days before the shooting.
All right, how do you make that? How do you get that?
So in examining the cell phone, the extraction that we pull off of the device, we open it into forensic software that basically translates the data. So the extraction isn't something that we can readily read. So in the process, we open it in this forensic tool that then translates it into something that we can recognize. So in doing so, I then go through the files on the device. I went through a number of different types of files that led me to this bell schedule.
And it tells you exactly when it was downloaded?
There is a creation date for that file.
And what was the date again?
It was February 2nd. I'll give you the exact time. It was February 2nd, 2018 at 10:12 and 21 seconds in the morning.
Okay, so somebody downloaded that bell schedule?
Yes.
Okay, on February 2nd at 10:21?
Yes.
Okay, Your Honor, at this time, I want to offer State's Exhibit 24T and 24U.
Is there an objection?
Yes, ma'am, we renew all objections from DMIL 10 and also add rules 401 and 403. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, over the defense objection states 24T will be received as 466, 24U, 467.
Now showing you Detective Fairclough, State's Exhibit 467. Is that the bell schedule you got from the phone?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And I want to show you now State's Exhibit marked 24R.
Yes, sir.
Can you identify that?
Yes, these are search history, excerpts from the search history on the phone that I created.
Okay, and you made that list yourself from the...
Yes, sir.
The physical extraction from 954-1007, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Your Honor, at this time, I'd like to offer State's Exhibit 24R.
Is there any objection?
Yes, ma'am, just to give the arguments and authorities of DMIL 10, please.
Okay, over the defense objection, 24R will be received as 468.
Show you now State's Exhibit 468. Can you read that okay, or is it blurry?
Yes, sir. I can read it.
Okay, so tell us what this is.
So on a cell phone device, you can conduct searches through the internet, through different applications. This is excerpts from those searches that were found on the device.
Okay. So would you run through it with us? You have ID 1.
Sure. ID 1 was a search that was conducted on November 14th, 2017 at 6:49 and 21 seconds at night that says shooting people, massacre.
Okay. 2.
On November 14th, 2017 at 6:53 and 27 seconds at night, a search for shooting people, massacre. Then on February 9th, 2018 at 9:17 and 41 seconds in the morning, best AR-15 sights. On February 10th, 2018 at 11:48 and 14 seconds in the morning, Dollar Tree, Parkland, Florida. On February 10th, 2018 at 12:36 and 27 seconds in the afternoon, Cool Cast Designs. Then again, February 10th, 2018, 12:36 and 32 seconds in the afternoon, Cool Cast Designs. And once again, February 10th, 2018, 12:50 and 6 seconds in the afternoon, Cool Cast Designs. On February 10th, 2018, 6:46 and 32 seconds at night, School Shooters. February 10th, 2018, 11:28, 46 seconds at night, AR-15. February 10th, 2018, 11:28 and 52 seconds at night, AR-15. February 11th, 2018, 10:20, 10 seconds in the morning, AR-15. February 11th, 2018, 10:45 and 14 seconds in the morning, AR-15. February 11th, 2018, 10:45 and 32 seconds in the morning, AR-15. February 11th, 2018, 10:45, 33 seconds in the morning, AR-15. And once again, February 11th, 2018, 10:45 and 38 seconds in the morning, AR-15. Then on February 12th, 2018, at 12:39 and 59 seconds in the afternoon, School Shooters. On February 12th, 2018, at 12:40 and 4 seconds in the afternoon, School Shooters. Then on February 12th, 2018, 12:40 and 22 seconds in the afternoon, School Shooter YouTube. On February 12th, 2018, 12:51 and 47 seconds in the afternoon, Dollar Tree, Parkland, Florida. February 12th, 2018, at 1:19 and 5 seconds in the afternoon, Dollar Tree, Parkland, Florida. February 12th, 2018, 6:57 and 27 seconds in the afternoon, Dollar Tree, Parkland, Florida. And on February 12th, 2018, at 7:25 and 51 seconds at night, how long does it take for a cop to show up at a school shooting? On February 13th, 2018, at 10:06:21 at night, Marjorie Stoneman Douglas. Again, February 13th, 2018, at 10:10 and 54 seconds at night, Marjorie Stoneman Douglas. On February 14th, 2018, at 9:18 and 45 seconds in the morning, Parkland, Florida, Dollar Tree. And the last one is February 14th, 2018, 12:43, 20 seconds in the afternoon, Parkland, Florida, Dollar Tree.
Okay. And now I want to show you Stacy's exhibit marked 24P. Detective Faircloth, see if you can identify that, sir.
Yes, sir.
What is
This is web history from the device that excerpts from those web history
Okay.
items.
And did you extract that, did you do a physical extraction from 954, 821, 1007?
Yes, sir.
Okay. How is it different from what we just went over, the phone search history?
So the searches are the terms themselves that might be searched. The web history could be as a result of a search, where you type in a search for a term and then you get web results for that. And it would actually contain the URL, that link that displayed the data. It could also be links that you follow. Maybe you didn't do a search, but as you're on Google and you're accessing Google's website and you're clicking on different links and then you're following other links, all that data gets stored on the device as the web history.
Okay. And you did the physical extraction yourself, and that's what you got from
Yes, sir.
the phone 954-821-1007, correct?
Yes, sir.
All right. At this time, I'd like to offer to Stacy Exhibit 24P.
You're welcome.
Is there any objection?
This thing again, the objections in D, MIL 10, as well as rules 401 and 403. Thank you.
Right, over the defense objection states 24P will be received as 469.
Yeah. Now, Detective Faircloth, I'm going to show you Stacy Exhibit 469. Okay, could you tell us what this is?
Yes, this is the excerpts from the web history.
All right, so what does it show?
So it shows that on February 10th, 2018, at 6:46 and 32 seconds at night, a Google search was conducted for school shooters, and you can see the URL that was generated. And then on February 10th, 2018, at 6:46 and 46 seconds at night, a link was followed to school shooting Wikipedia, so on the Wikipedia's website for school shooting. On February 10th, 2018, at 6:47 and 14 seconds at night, Marshall County High School shooting Wikipedia. That Marshall County High School is a school shooting that happened January of 2018, in which 2 people were killed by a suspect of the name Gabe Parker in Benton, Kentucky. Then back to school shooting on February 10th, 2018 at 6:48 and 44 seconds on the Wikipedia page. And then following an additional link on February 10th, 2018, 6:48, 52 seconds at night for Red Lake Senior High School Wikipedia. At Red Lake, Minnesota, there was a school shooting in 2005, where the suspect Jeff Weiss shot and killed 9 people. Again, on February 10th, 2018, 6:51 and 2 seconds at night, Red Lake Senior High School, Wikipedia. Then on February 10th, 2018, at 11:28 and 46 seconds, a Google search was conducted for AR-15. Then on February 10th, 2018, at 11:28 and 52 seconds, the tab at the top for videos, when you do a Google search, you get all videos, shopping, images. You can choose a selection from the top. He selected the videos for AR-15. Then on February 11th, 2018, at 10:20 and 10 seconds in the morning, still at the AR-15 videos Google search. On February 11th, 2018, 10:20 and 25 seconds in the morning, on the Rolling Stones website, How the AR-15 Became Mass Shooters' Weapon of Choice, Rolling Stone. On February 11th, 2018, at 10:45 and 14 seconds in the morning, the AR-15 Google search, again on the Videos tab. On February 11th, 2018, at 10:45 and 32 seconds in the morning, AR-15 Google search, still on the Videos tab. On February 11th, 2018, at 10:45 and 33 seconds, AR-15, now back to the original link.
Okay. Continuing on.
February 11th, 2018, 10:45 and 38 seconds in the morning, the AR-15 Google search goes back to the videos link. Then February 11th, 2018, at 1:45 and 39 seconds in the afternoon, a YouTube search for Virginia Tech Massacre was conducted. Virginia Tech Massacre was a mass shooting that occurred in 2007, where 32 people were shot and killed. Then again, on February 11th, 2018, at 1:45 and 44 seconds in the afternoon, the Virginia Tech Massacre on YouTube. On February 11th, 2018, at 2:12 and 9 seconds in the afternoon, Columbine Diary YouTube search. Columbine was a school shooting that occurred in 1999, where 13 people were shot and killed. Then again, February 11th, 2018, at 2:13 and 46 seconds in the afternoon. Oh, sorry. Go back up to 18. February 18th, 2018, at 2:12 and 16 seconds in the afternoon, the Columbine Diary YouTube search again. Then as we come down to 19, you'll see February 11th, 2018, at 2:12 and 16 seconds in the afternoon. This was a video on YouTube that was actually accessed. The title of the video is The Columbine Killers, Mass School Shooting, Crime Documentary English Part 2. And again on February 11th, 2018, at 2:13, 46 seconds in the afternoon, that same video, The Columbine Killers, Mass School Shooting, Crime Documentary English Part 2. February 11th, 2018, at 2:13 and 46 seconds, the search for Virginia Tech Massacre on YouTube. Then again, February 11th, 2018, at 2:13 and 48 seconds in the afternoon, Virginia Tech Massacre. On February 11th, 2018, at 2:13 and 51 seconds, Virginia Tech Massacre search on YouTube. February 11th, 2018, at 2:13 and 55 seconds in the afternoon, Virginia Tech Massacre on YouTube again. Then on February 11th, 2018, at 2:13 and 55 seconds, a YouTube video was accessed. The title of that YouTube video was Virginia Tech Massacre YouTube. On February 11th, 2018, at 9:51 and 13 seconds at night, a search was conducted for AR-15 Close Quarter Combat YouTube. Again, on February 11th, 2018, at 9:51 and 18 seconds, AR-15 Close Quarter Combat search conducted on YouTube. February 11th, 2018, at 9:51 and 18 seconds at night, AR-15 Close Quarters Basic Gunfighting Drills on YouTube, and this was an actual video that was accessed. And that same video was again accessed February 11th, 2018, 9:52 and 53 seconds, titled AR-15 Close Quarters Basic Gunfighting Drills on YouTube. On February 11th, 2018, at 10:31 and 34 seconds at night, a search was conducted on YouTube for school shooter footage. Again, on February 11th, 2018, 10:31, 46 seconds at night, school shooter footage on YouTube. On February 11th, 2018, at 10:31 and 46 seconds at night, a YouTube video was accessed with the title Body Cam Footage of Cop Shooting Armed Student on Campus. And again, on February 11th, 2018, at 10:35 and 51 seconds at night, that same video, Body Cam Footage of Cop Shooting Armed Student on Campus. Then on February 11th, 2018, at 11:17 and 6 seconds at night, a video was accessed with the title U.S. Army Make School Shooting Simulator for Saving Lives on YouTube. Again, February 11th, 2018, at 11:19 and 21 seconds at night, that same video, U.S. Army Make School Shooting Simulator for Saving Lives. Then on February 11th, 2018, at 11:19 and 36 seconds at night, a YouTube video of Pumped Up Kicks by Abracadabra, Arm A2 edition on YouTube. Pumped Up Kicks is a song that refers to school shootings. It's a popular pop rock song. The lyrics to the chorus are all the other kids with the pumped up kicks, you better run, outrun my gun. All the other kids with the pump.
Okay, from your side, Mark. Sure.
let's go on to the next item. Detective Faircloth, please.
Mr. Satz, there are a few people that need a break, so we're going to go ahead and take a break. If you all please leave your notebooks on your seats. Please do not discuss the case. Please do not begin deliberating or have any discussion whatsoever. I'm going to speak with the lawyers. I'll want your excuse to determine whether or not this is a good time for a lunch break or whether we should finish this witness before the lunch break. So just be ready for another instruction from the bailiff, but for now, you're excused temporarily. Okay, so the jurors have been excused. The bailiff passed me a note that a number of them needed to use the restroom, which is why I interrupted you.
It's okay.
So I don't know what your presentation is going to be, but do you think it would be better to let them break for lunch or bring them back when they use the restroom and finish this witness?
Well, it's at least another hour. So I guess a lunch break wouldn't be bad.
Is that okay with you all?
Yes.
All right, and then how many more witnesses do you have for today?
2.
So we'll be able to finish those witnesses today.
Oh, no, wait, no. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
There's 2, and then there's potentially 7 victim impact.
That may or may not go today.
Correct, and we have them here and available.
Sure, no problem. Okay, I just didn't know if, I wasn't sure exactly what your presentation was planned. So why don't we go ahead and recess? I'll have the bailiff excuse the jurors until 1:45. With the plan that we'll start back at 2 o'clock. Detective, I'm sorry if this is hampering your schedule, but please, you can be excused for the lunch break, but I'm sure you know the drill. Please don't discuss the testimony with anyone during the break. Other than that, you can enjoy your break like everyone else, okay?
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. So I'll see you all back here at 1:45.